Rolling.
Oh, yeah. Thank you to our sponsor, Hims. You're confident in the office, at the dinner table, even on the dance floor. But can you keep it going when you get back to the bedroom? Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/JRVP. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Valentine's Day coming up. If you want to show your loved ones how much you love them, give them a gift of Trade coffee this Valentine's season. Right now through February 14th, Trade is offering $10 off gift subscriptions when you use the code JRVP10 at checkout. That's JRVP10 to receive $10 off gift subscriptions. Use the code JRVP10. Finally, if you only have a 401k, you're not getting the most for retirement. Add an IRA, then boost it by 3% with Robinhood. And if you transfer in any retirement account, you get 3% on top of that. There's no limit to the match. Robinhood Gold gets you the biggest contribution match of any IRA on the market. Sign up for Robinhood Gold at robinhood.com/boost by April 30th. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Match on transfers subject to additional terms and conditions. Robinhood Financial LLC member. SIPC. 3 pre-rolls, just warming me up on this rainy day to talk a little bit about a child's birthday party gone wrong, another YouTube decapitation, and writing the NFL script. All coming up in episode 233 of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
You saying that Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard? That's a bullshit psych job. There are 2 or 3 men out there at most. Fucking lizard.
Oh, we got a live one today. We got a fired up Jesseltron.
Aaron, do you know what my quote's from? I know Gregg does not.
That's from Predator.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's from Predator. Yeah. I just looked up Carl Weathers Predator quotes, and I picked one at random, and I knew it was going to be awesome. Carl Weathers, people talk about him from Rocky. He's been getting a lot of heat from Arrested Development, which he was great in. Of course, he was amazing in Happy Gilmore. But I'm here today to remember the guy who was in Predator. Because he was awesome. Because he stood toe-to-toe with Arnold Schwarzenegger at the height of his powers. And he held his own on the screen. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. You were amazing. Because of Predator.
Why were you so confident I wouldn't know it?
Because I don't think you've seen the movie Predator.
Yeah, I haven't. But I kind of consider myself the Carl Weathers of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. Chair VP.
Junior Vice President.
That's high praise for you.
Yeah, sneaky athletic. He was in the NFL. I played tennis.
You're you're the Bill Duke of the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project. Chair VP.
Junior Vice President.
That's who you are.
I just mean I'm coming in here with Schwarzenegger every week, and I'm holding my own.
Aaron, guess who you are?
The Predator.
You're Jesse Ventura.
Oh, okay.
You're Jesse Ventura. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. Gregg is Bill Duke. Billy is the Native American guy who sacrifices himself for no reason.
Billy, yeah. It literally isn't. The character's name's Billy.
Yeah. And Al Madrigal is the guy who gets killed pretty early on. He's got glasses. He's the famous screenwriter.
Shane Black.
Shane Black. Yeah, they wanted to write. He was like, I'm not going to write. They killed him off. That's who Al Madrigal is. And
there's one Latino guy.
Yeah. But he doesn't really count. Who's the girl? Who's the girl that doesn't speak any English?
Miss Kim.
Yeah. Okay. I would have said I also would have gone with Jordy.
Okay.
For that one. But Carl Weathers was great. Thank you, Carl Weathers, for everything. I had a good week. I've got 2 weeks off now. I was going hard at the beginning of the year. I've got 2 weeks off. I'm excited about that. Do a couple sets at the store here and there so I don't build up any rust, but I'm excited. This past weekend, I had Albuquerque, Phoenix, and a casino outside of Tucson. I'm going to go ahead and say. Anyway, Albuquerque was amazing. I love cities like Albuquerque where they're just like really happy that you came there. Albuquerque's cool. They've got cool stuff, cool people. But people just seemed very happy that I was there. It was this big ass theater they have, and I really enjoyed it. Like the shots of the crowd. If you follow me on Instagram, you see the pictures Liz takes. The crowd is cool in Albuquerque. We had a great show there, and I was like, this is maybe the most fun show I've had all year. And then Phoenix was so insane, blew it out of the water, made me think Albuquerque who?
Albuquerque what?
I actually said that on stage several times. But Phoenix, it was in the round. It's if you've seen Nate Bargatze's latest special, if you've seen Tom Segura's latest special, it's at the same place, the Celebrity Center in Phoenix. It's in the round. And I was like, oh, this is annoying. You've got to turn while you're up there. And then you walk out on stage, and it's like fucking Thunderdome in there. Both shows were so insane. It was absolutely crazy that I loved it. The pictures were great. We had a great time in Phoenix. Although my favorite thrift store. Liz is all about thrift stores when we go on the road. I hate them. I don't give a shit. Maybe I'll try on a pair of jeans. Maybe. But your leather jackets aren't all that. And I'm not digging through a bunch of t-shirts looking for one of a band I know that fits me. I'm not doing it. But there's one in Phoenix called Heart of the City. They just opened the last time I was in Phoenix. Phoenix is the only city on the whole tour that I've gone back to. I did the clubs in the beginning. I was like, it was so much fun. Let me go back. But last time I was there, I went to Heart of the City. It was incredible. Everything in there was something that I would want to own. It was very, very cool. And then we went back while I was there. Liz and I had a couple hours before the show, like, let's go to Heart of the City. We walked from our hotel, and it's been closed for 2 months because of water damage. Heart of the City, get a wet vac. It's you got concrete floors. It shouldn't be that hard to clean up the water. Open back up. I want to go to you. Now I got a couple weeks off.
That was a lot of time on Heart of the City.
Heart of the City is good.
That's closed.
I was excited. It's going to open back up at some point. I wish it had been while I was there, but I would go back just for that. This week, though, I'm just excited to relax, run some errands. I was trying to get some sun. I was looking at myself in the mirror before I go on stage. I'm pale. I'm real pale. I haven't been out in the sun very much at all, and it's pouring rain all week. I'm not going to get to see the sun at all, Aaron.
No.
Not at all.
You don't have any flooding issues or anything going on at your apartment or around you?
That's the penthouse. You know, sometimes you get some leaks, but you never get any flooding. You know, I haven't had any leaks in quite some time. Thank you for fixing that over several years since I've bought the condo. No, it's great. I like it. Rummy gets free baths when he goes in the rain. He's very soft. He's been very sweet, very cuddly. But I do have to take him to the vet. A couple weeks ago, you'll remember, I tried to take him to the vet. It was a fail. I got to double the medication. So tomorrow night, I'm going to give him meds late at night, wake him up in the morning, give him a little more meds, carry him into the vet, and hope it goes well. But that's my thing.
Why are you so fired up? I mean, you came in here, the door was locked. That is a bad start. This is our last show
in the building,
in the All Things Comedy original building / studios. It's empty out there.
Mm-hmm. This is the original building that Bill Burr built without Madrigal with their 2 hands. And now they're getting rid of it. Aaron, is the place we're going to next week better or worse?
Better.
Okay.
Are we the last podcast to tape in here?
No.
Why
Who
not?
is?
It's a show called The Pork Report.
And you didn't want to have something a little more appropriate to kind of close this down?
I don't get to plan that far.
Aaron's been wearing a tuxedo all week
That's true.
because of this and because of Carl Weathers.
But you came in all fired up. At one point, you were like yelling at us to get going, even though you were the last one to get here. We could have started earlier.
Greg, here's some Carl Weathers trivia. Carl Weathers dressed up like Uncle Sam and sang an entire James Brown song before he was beaten to death by Dolph Lundgren in what movie?
Kickboxer?
Rocky IV.
Wait, I should have known that. Well, of course.
Of course. He was beaten to death in front of thousands of people in an exhibition after doing an entire James Brown song.
People are going to get on me for that because I have seen Rocky IV multiple times. and to get that wrong seems tough, but put yourself in the hot seat. It's not as easy like answering the questions for Jeopardy when you're actually on the show.
That's what everybody says.
I've done some quiz shows just on podcasts, and it is harder.
How was your week? Before I tell you why I'm so hype.
Okay. I was pretty hype. On the way here, I found out I'm not getting kicked out of my house. So I honestly feel like the Celtics just won the championship or something.
Why would you
like
get kicked out of your house?
The old owner of it was mysterious who even owned this. It was like some sort of consortium, like some business, and then someone died, and then they were like, "We're selling the house, but we can't tell you anything about it." I was like, "Oh, that doesn't sound good."
Yeah.
And then
you've been there how long?
Only a year, and then they sold it to a restaurant group. I was like, "Oh, this sounds even worse. Why would a restaurant group be buying a house?" But today on the way here, I found out it all makes sense. It shares the property with the rest. It doesn't matter. We're staying. They're not raising the rent. They all sound very professional. Nice guy. He was a listener of my other podcast, so that's a credit to him.
Okay.
And it's just a big relief. I did not want to have to get kicked out and moved. It also would have been a bad look for me. I'm on team rent. Everyone else is team buy a house.
Yeah.
It's a great investment. Blah blah blah. I'm still team rent. I'm sticking with team rent. Even though I don't necessarily have to. I don't care. I think it's better. It's easier.
How long is your lease? Like, when can they raise your rent? You know, they're always
said
like,
he wasn't gonna.
Okay.
Said he wasn't gonna. They just in LA. They
word
just
is
go on
bond.
forever.
When it comes to Los Angeles real estate, if they tell you something, it's a done deal.
I thought your part of town has rent control.
That is true. So it could only go up so much. That's a good point. I've kind of enjoyed I kind of enjoyed on Sunday being forced to stay inside. It almost feels like there's a pressure living in Los Angeles, especially with kids, that like you always have to go out. It's nice outside. Go out, make use of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice relief to just kind of sit around and watch nonsense.
Yeah, I've enjoyed curling up with a good book, watching a little TV. Listen, I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited, but my excitement's been tempered a little bit by what Gregg just said about having to rent a house and not owning a house. Okay, Gregg and I host a podcast. He shouldn't be in a position where he has to rent a home. We should be millionaires. And Gregg's, I don't want to blow you up a little bit, Gregg's not a millionaire. Am I a millionaire? Of course I am. Okay, this isn't about me. This is about us, Gregg and myself. Because we host a podcast, we are entitled to all of your money.
Yep.
We make money from the podcast. Yes, we do have ads, and we're grateful for those. But it's not enough. When you decide to be a fan of a podcast, and when I say fan, I mean you listen to it once, you're locked in, fan for life. I'm going to need that money you got. It's not enough to come see me on tour or buy a product that we advertise on the show. It's not enough just to listen to it. Okay, it's not enough just to sign up for the YouTube channel. It's not enough just to email us at jrvpjuniorvicepresident@gmail.com and give us suggestions or ask us questions. No, I'm going to need that money. And not everyone's the same, fan-wise. There are some fans out there who have plenty of money, who are doing real well. Okay?
Right. The fans.
Yeah, so some fans who can easily give us money.
Too much money, if you ask me.
I love, too much money. We're going to need some of it. There's a way, go to the Patreon, there's a way, donate while you sleep. Set it up so that it donates to us while you're sleeping. That way you don't have to think about it. It's just coming to us. We need that money. If you don't have a lot of money, you're struggling to make ends meet with the bills, you got kids, you got a wife, you're just trying to get people, you get through the week.
Right.
I get it. But I also know, because I host a podcast and I have the wisdom that comes with that, I know you got something left over. I know at the end of the week, maybe it's a couple pennies, maybe it's a couple dollars. I'm going to need it.
Right.
I'm going to need the money.
Because you're a millionaire, but as you pointed out, I'm not. And you know what millionaires want more than anything in the world?
For their friends to stop asking them for money.
No, more money. You need more money.
I do.
And yeah,
I don't care about the amount of money. It's not about the number. It's about needing it from you. If you're a fan of the podcast, I'm going to need your money. And I thought of a great way to finally do that. Okay? We've tried merch. It didn't go as well as we wanted. We didn't get all the money that way. We abandoned it.
We got some money. You thought it was so minor, but it was fine. It was pretty good.
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it.
Juice wasn't worth the squeeze for you.
It wasn't.
personally.
Juice was not worth the squeeze. Write that on my tombstone and have it delivered tomorrow because I don't want to wait. It wasn't worth the squeeze. Listen, here's what we're doing. If you're a fan of the podcast, big announcement, your life changes today. Gregg and I have partnered, and we are selling JRVP bottleless bottled water. You hear that? It's bottleless. We're disrupting the bottles. Mm-hmm. You go to the Patreon, you buy the bottled water, $70, no bottle. Here's where we get you. It's unlimited, unlimited water. You say, Anthony, you don't have bottles. How are we going to get it? That's the motto of JRVP Water. We're going to get it to you. Don't you worry. Buy the water, and we're going to get it to you. Maybe it's going to come from the sky. Maybe it's going to come from your faucet. You'll be taking a shower one day. All of a sudden, you'll feel JRVP, and you'll know what's happening. We're going to get it to you. Don't you worry. We're figuring that out. The important thing is that if you want the water to flow your way, the money's got to flow our way. And if you're wondering, hey, is Aaron getting a cut of that? Aaron, are you getting a cut of it? No, you are not.
No.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how you're going to get the water, and don't worry about Aaron getting a cut. He's not, but you are getting it. Aaron, you've tried the JRVP water. What did you think?
Oh, refreshing.
It was refreshing, right?
Yeah.
Not like regular water
No.
where you just want more of it. This is the kind of water you drink once and then you're done.
Yeah.
Right. It's like we aren't going into this lightly.
No.
We studied the market, and we're excited to take water to the next level.
We're excited to take the water all the way to the top level.
Right. Like we've seen what's out there, all the different waters, and some are in cans, some are in bottles, some have flavors. We're not doing any of that. We're going above and beyond that. We're going to the next level.
Some people just filter the water once. Some people filter the water twice. We were the ones. First of all, I'll give Gregg credit. Gregg was the one who was like, hey, what about no bottle? And we just threw the fucking chalkboard out. I said, we could have erased that and started with the same chalkboard. They said, no, we want a new chalkboard. Everything's changed now. And so we got the new chalkboard, and that took a while. But then we said, what about, instead of the filter process, why don't we ignore that? No filter. You're going to find stuff in there. That's the JRVP promise. We're going to get it to you, and there's going to be something in there for you. The important thing is, though, your money is ours.
Right.
I don't care how much or how little, as long as it's yours. And then it becomes ours.
It's like, do you think Gary Cooper drank filtered water? No. He didn't need all that.
Famously did not.
He wanted it all in there. That's how he became such a man.
Mm-hmm. He would refuse. He would refuse to drink it no matter what you dangled in front of him. Gary Cooper said nay. And I'll tell you, if Gary Cooper was alive today, I don't know what his net worth would be, but it wouldn't be a lot because we'd have all that money.
Right.
He'd give it all to us.
Give it to us.
And now it's time for, did we get any notes? Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? If you're thinking to yourself, I don't drink water, I've got enough water, I've got something wrong with me where I've had too much water and now I need less water, don't worry about it. We got merch for the water. You can just wear that. And it is, Aaron, how expensive is it? Super expensive, right?
Yeah.
Like, you were like, is this a joke? Is this dollars? And I was like, you bet it's dollars. It's better than dollars. It's our fans' dollars. Listen, speaking of getting notes, I got one thing. Gregg's got a couple things for you. I did notice, going back to the Patreon, listen, you don't all have to do the Patreon. The Patreon's are people who want it enough, who like us enough and appreciate us more than the rest of the people who don't have the Patreon. You get the Patreon, great, enjoy that stuff. If you're on the Patreon, that's for you. I don't want to see people taking Patreon materials, content. Aaron and I are always saying, like, let's make content. Let's make content for the Patreon. And then when we see it just dumped on Reddit,
Oh, no.
it makes me sick and it makes Aaron want to tear his eyes out. I had to physically stop Aaron from tearing out his own eyes when he saw the video you guys posted on there today. I don't know if you guys think we just improvised dances.
It was a video
It was
or
a video.
a
It was a video.
photo? Okay.
It was a video. No one's posted any of the photos. Thank God. Because I'll sue you. I'll deplatform you. I'll demonetize you. I'll sue you. I'll show up at your fucking house if I think that you're taking our content and dumping it for free. That's Patreon content. So, you've been warned. I'll show up at your fucking house, and right as you're about to leave to go do something important, that's when I'm gonna knock. That's me. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah, if any listeners out there doubt him at all, I have not seen Anthony as serious about anything since the whole water thing.
Dead fucking serious. Aaron, here's a quick impression. Who's this?
That's you.
That's me. All right? I don't care where you got to be. You're going to be late.
Shout out to my friend Kat, by the way. And I heard this from a few places. This was not planned in the notes, but people really like that video you sent out last week.
Yeah.
And I heard from a lot of people that my reactions are the best part of JRVP visuals.
Shout out to the social media team. That couldn't have been easy to find all those instances of Gregg embarrassing himself. That was a great clip. It was fun. They had a good time doing
Quote,
it.
they are so complex and amazing, talking about my reactions. Never goofy. A lot of gears turning upstairs. What a review.
A lot of people say to me, they're like, hey, tell Gregg to take it easy on the Botox. It's too much.
I always am happy if I have a show at the NFL earlier in the day. Did not today. Because then I'm maybe wearing a little bit of makeup and it helps me stand up a little better to what's going on across the screen here. Your beard's really coming in. I like it.
I'm letting it go. I'm letting the beard go. Yeah, I like Gregg with little makeup. I'm not gonna listen. I probably shouldn't say this, but when Gregg comes in here wearing little makeup, it's a different show. It's a different vibe. Yeah, we've been best friends for over 20 years, but when he's wearing makeup, feels like 25.
None today if you check out Anthony's YouTube page. So a few weeks ago, you asked the listeners for ideas for shows we could tape while you're on your international tour. We haven't decided whether we're going to pre-tape shows while you're gone. It'll be a couple months in the summer. We'll see. Some of those ideas, they've been piling up, so I'm going to give you a few. One suggested a D&D style adventure podcast. I'm not sure really what that means, but maybe Aaron's involved because we don't know like guests, but it would show everyone in a different light. I guess we'd sort of, it's almost like role playing.
I get it. I played a little D&D back in the day when I was a young preteen. Aaron, would you be Dungeon Master? Is that how this works? Have you done a D&D podcast in here? I got to think yes.
I never have, no.
No. I think it's another, like a different podcast network that does a lot of these. We're not doing that.
Okay. One asked, you could look at the date that when it's supposed to air, and then we make predictions about what is going to happen by that date. I think that was a good idea for like one show.
It's a good idea for one show. We can't do it for multiple.
But that's, I think, what we're looking for here is probably like 6 good ideas for one show.
Okay. I would do this. I would pick a date in the future, pick a date in like July, and just guess what's going to have happened, and then really chop it up.
Yeah, and someone pointed out, don't even worry about running past 30 minutes. The fans will accept scraps rather than nothing for months. We need it. So I thought that was good perspective. One person said we can do some all-time like top 10, top 5 episodes where we do like top 5 favorite cities, meals, albums, whatever we want the category to be, and do a little top 5 comedians.
It's possible.
That's possible. I'm gonna put a possible one if we want. They said bring it back. Some of these ultimately just were like emails. They didn't realize it, but they were basically saying, have us give you dilemmas, dedicate and pre-record. That won't age. I was like, yes, those are emails. But
we could do one. We could do like an email back corner that's all like an episode of just advice.
Yes, maybe romantic advice, or we even have categories. That would be a possibility. Okay. I know you're not going to like these ideas. I don't either. Have all of Anthony's previous openers to sit in and riff with Gregg. Format stays the same, and it helps these comedians. Could be great, could be awkward.
We're not doing that. We're not doing the thing where we have a co-host sit in. Some podcasts do that. We're not doing that.
This one was funny.
We're two friends who are marketing the fuck out of some water.
Right.
JRVP Water, don't you worry. You're going to get your water.
We'll get it to you.
We'll get you your water. We'll get you your precious water. It's like Fury Road.
That same person suggested like Liz or Aaron or Miss Kim could sit in, and they thought that would be fun, but I know you don't. Most of the others are some.
Without me, there's no podcast. Okay? If I go to the bathroom right now, Aaron shuts off the mics. Did you shut the mics off?
Now, what if something happened to you? You know, you're out researching the water, doing all of our back channel stuff we've been doing in different countries.
I'm out there not filtering the water.
An accident happens. I'd be devastated.
Thank you.
But we'd still have this podcast feed.
Yeah.
A lot of subscribers.
The ads have been sold. We've got to complete it.
What should I, that's just a thought of maybe a scenario where the podcast would continue. At least see what I can get out of it.
Okay. Here's what you do. And this is in my will. If something does happen to me while the podcast is still going, if I die at the end of the year, everything's null and void. Podcast is done. But if we got some time, we got some ads to do, what you do is you take my corpse, you cut the head off. You cut the head off Rummy. You got to kill Rummy. I'm sorry. Rummy's with me now. You put my head on Rummy's or Rummy's head onto my body, and then that sits in for as many episodes as it takes.
So it'd be like a Dogman situation. I don't know if you're familiar with the most popular kids book in the world, I would guess, but certainly in America, Dogman.
I'm not.
It's a dog's head sewn onto a policeman's body, and he's Dogman.
That sounds like an insult. It sounds like the desecration of a corpse. And, Blue Lives Matter.
The rest of them mostly seem to me like different versions of like top 5 lists, the recommendation station, building that out, blah, blah, blah. One last one was advice for future Gregg Anthony errands. Like we give some advice to ourselves in the future. I don't know if that means like 10 years from now or like 3 months from now. Why would we give
advice to our future selves? Give advice to your former self. We have less wisdom. Hey, make sure you're still doing your thing. Like, what the fuck am I going to say to my future self?
Okay, so that's a no. But we got a couple possibilities.
What in the fuck? Hey, don't agree to a 3-year podcast deal. Is that what I'm going to tell myself in the future?
Keep emailing us, JRVP Junior Vice President @gmail.com. I mentioned to the listeners that the emails were lackluster a couple weeks back, and they delivered. Last week, the emails were much better. There were a ton of great options, so keep emailing us. And also, we're not done taking suggestions if you think of any, but I think we got a couple here that might work. So keep sending suggestions. Put that in the headline, episode suggestion.
And that was, did we get any notes? Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Notes. Did we get any notes? Aaron, how much would you pay for a bottleless water?
Oh, upwards of $70.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what if I told you I would give you
for a case or just for one bottle?
It's unlimited.
Honestly,
not a bottle.
if you know us, you can get hooked up with just a handful whenever you want.
Ooh.
It's $70 plus tax in the beginning, and then whenever you see me, you can just hold out your hands, and I'm gonna get it to you.
Right. I thought the biz development guys had some pretty good ideas of also making an option to be a subscription service. Instead of just buying it piecemeal, you get the full monthly plan, and you get it whenever you want.
We need to keep growing.
Right.
That's what when we walk in the studio, there's a sign that Bill Burr put above the door that says, "We need to keep growing today," and we tap it with our hands. And now it's time for
Ad copy.
Ooh, Valentine's Day is coming up. I stink at it. I mean, I got my wife a printer for Christmas. That didn't go over that well. I need a comeback. It's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna give Emeka the gift of better coffee. Trade Coffee is here to help you show your significant other, your friends, your family some love with a highly personalized gift catered to their taste. It's a gift they will actually love. It's creative and it's delicious. Trade is the best destination for better coffee at home. You subscribe to Trade, you start the year or Valentine's Day with better coffee. New favorites, it's 55 plus local roasters around the country. You upgrade your morning routine. It makes me happy when it arrives in the mail.
It makes your mailbox smell good.
It's all sorts of different options. I filled out what I wanted last time around. I got broadcast coffee. They have this Ethiopian version. Beautiful. Anodyne coffee. That was good. Huck. I liked it. Oh, I've been getting Trade. This is one of the sponsors we have that I pay money for Trade.
Trade's
I
great.
need it. I don't need to go out.
Trade's great. Ethiopia is great. Those motherfuckers can run and they can make coffee like you would not believe.
It is delicious. Show your loved ones how much you care with the gift of Trade Coffee for Valentine's Day. Again, it's a subscription service, much like JRVP water could potentially be in the future. Trade's already got it down. They have those relationships. A subscription, it's a gift, whatever you want. Show your loved ones how much you care with the gift of Trade Coffee for Valentine's Day. Right now through February 14th, Trade's offering $10 off gift subscriptions when you use the code JRVP10 at checkout. That's JRVP10 to receive $10 off gift subscriptions. Use the code JRVP10. We went long on that one. You know how else you want to go long? Get a little Hims. Want to have better sex, but erectile dysfunction is getting in the way? If so, you are not alone. You've got me. You've got Anthony. Millions of men deal with the hardships of ED, but with Hims, there's a simpler, affordable way to get treated for ED so you can get your groove back in the bedroom at a cost that you desire. That's key, the cost.
Get an erection you can trust. That's what I'm always saying to Aaron. Get an erection that you can trust. That you can take your eyes off for a second and it's not going to go away.
Hims provides access to clinically proven generic alternatives to Viagra and Cialis, up to 95% cheaper, with options as low as $2 per dose. It does the same thing. You might as well pay less. The process is simple, 100% online, no uncomfortable doctor visits, no insurance is needed. You pay one low price for your treatments, online visits, ongoing shipments, and provider messaging. Hims has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, so if ED is getting you down, it's time to change that. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/JRVP. That's HIMS.com/JRVP for your personalized ED treatments. HIMS.com/JRVP. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription is required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Get the confidence back. You don't be walking around with no confidence. You need it.
Get an erection you don't have to think about.
Our last ad today is Robinhood's. Thank you to them for becoming a sponsor. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with the 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match.
No cap?
No cap. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at Robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Claim as of Q1 2024 validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of your first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer.
And that was
Ad copy.
And now it's time to take it down to a place that's always selling something. It's Email Corner.
Email corner. Emails are a thing.
Guys, if emails aren't a thing, then I don't know what to tell you. Turn off the podcast now and walk into the ocean. Everything is topsy-turvy. That's how you breathe now, is underwater. But emails are a thing.
So you'll live. It's not an awakening situation. You remember that book? Spoiler.
If you can call that living. Listen, if you're not drowning in JRVP brand bottleless bottled water, then what are you drowning for?
A lot of talk about the Patreon lately.
Listen, the Patreon is the most important thing in the fucking world to me.
Okay, so our first emails from a guy named Andrew Burns.
I got into comedy for one reason and one reason only. And that's signing people up for subscriptions.
Andrew Burns had a very long email, which was very nice. He met you back in 2009, 2010. He's a fan from way back. But he says an explanation of the Patreon would help. What does a subscriber get? So he has not signed up yet. Maybe it's on there and I'm too lazy, so ignore any of my thoughts about this and anything else you've described above. He's a teacher in Kiev, by the way, saying you can make some serious cash there. Big fan, Andrew Burns. He wants to know what he's getting with the Patreon.
Okay, listen, I'm glad someone finally fucking asked. Everyone's just complaining about it. No one's asking what you get, what the deal is. Let me break it down. And Aaron, if I mess anything up, let me know.
Sure.
Pull up the Patreon right now, and as I break it down, tell me if I go astray. Because I think it's pretty simple. You sign up, $5 a month is the minimum. Okay, that's like, hey, Anthony, I'm more a fan of Gregg. You know, but I'm tuning in. I want to give the bare minimum. $60 a year. That's $5 a month. Then you sign up with the Patreon, confirm your email, give us your phone number, enter your credit card information, and then you get the rules of the actual Patreon, which you need to sign up $10 a month to actually enjoy. Once you sign up for the $10 a month, and you have to sign up for $5 a month to find out about the $10 a month, how to do it, then you get limited content. You get to see all of the videos that I make after Aaron takes a pass at them with an edit. And he usually makes them longer.
Yeah, somehow.
Unless he makes a bunch of cuts and keeps it the same length. And then for $20 a month, you can go on the Patreon and send harassing messages to other Patreons. That's $20 a month.
That's part of it, yeah.
For $100 a month, Gregg will call you every night and tell you about his day.
Yeah, it's become a bit of an issue at home, to be honest, but it's worth it. The connection I have with our Patreoners, love them. I just would say to people, if you're willing to go that far, to get that final tier, it's not going to be short. I have a lot of stuff that goes on in my day.
We told Gregg, we're like, hey, do a speakerphone and do a bunch of them at once. And Gregg said, what about time zones? And we didn't know. Aaron had never heard of time zones before.
Yep.
So now Gregg calls you individually. For $200 a month, you can have a phone number that you can text to me that I will never respond to. That's the best one. Get that one.
Yeah. And I just would say, like, we're all about the content. And with the Patreon, BTS content, behind the scenes, extra stuff, extra photos, sometimes scandalous photos.
Hot takes.
SpawnCon. We have more sponsored content. If you love our ads, SpawnCon. That's what we call it.
AI versions of me sucking so many different dicks. You name a kind of dick, I'm sucking it in AI. And we'll send it to you. We'll send it to you for money.
I think we've given away too much, but that's a teaser, Andrew. I'm glad someone finally asked. Our next question. Hey guys, love the show. Gregg and Aaron should do an entire podcast where they don't laugh at a single thing Anthony says. See how long it takes for him to say something. Clearly this would be hard to pull off, but if done correctly, what kind of reaction would you expect from Anthony? I'd like to hear Anthony's take as well. In theory, I shouldn't have shown this to Anthony. I should have set it up with Aaron, and we should just try it one week. But then I don't think the Jeselnik and Rosenthal Vanity Project, JRVP,
Junior Vice President.
would exist past that week. That would be the series finale. So be ready for it at some point.
You guys are giving yourselves way too much credit. Like occasionally I hear Aaron laugh. Gregg is like, we're in the moment. These are always a blur for me. I get home and Liz is like, how was the podcast? I would say, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it was funny. Maybe we didn't make anyone laugh at all. But I never think of like Gregg. Occasionally Gregg will laugh, but it's like a delay where like we're in the moment and you don't even know there's been a joke told until like a second later. So it's like it's not like I'm on stage and I'm responding to it. Aaron, I will hear occasionally and I know, okay, that was a good one. But I don't know how it translates to the listener. I'm surprised we are at episode 233. I'll say that. But if they didn't laugh at it once, I don't think it would throw me at all. I don't really have a hard joke where like this punchline has to hit. It's more like I'm just ranting and hope that someone at home enjoys it. But these guys could not make a peep and it would not change anything about my performance.
Well, you don't know if it's a good show or not, but I do. And this one's been a banger. People are going to be fucking getting into accidents. They're going to be laughing so hard at what's been going on in episode 233.
Yeah. 233. And listen, I'm having a good time. You know why? Because listen, I am famously sober. It will be 2 years on April 19th.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, nothing gets me high like JRVP bottleless bottled water. And I've got a jug full of it right here. And every time I flag a little bit and I'm like, hey, 233 episodes is getting repetitive. I just take a sip of this shit. And I have to go to the bathroom so bad.
And people might say, Anthony, we're watching on the YouTube. We've subscribed. You're drinking the water out of a bottle. I thought it was bottleless water. It's delivered bottlelessly. If you want to put it in your bottle, you can do that.
Yeah, you can do it.
You should.
You can do it out of your hands. You can just splash it on your face. It doesn't matter. The point is that you buy it, and then that's fine.
All right. Our next question is from Chris. Me and my friends listen to the podcast. One of them has been begging me about sending account information so he can donate to my children's college fund. Last week, I sent him the account info in an email with the subject line, "Suck my dick, America." You know, we have bracelets that say that. Famous line. From a book, Chain Gang All-Stars. He didn't notice the inclusion of the greatest line in literary history and forwarded to his elderly financial advisor, causing deep embarrassment. Do you have any suggestions of how he can smooth things over with this woman? And should he continue to trust her with his money? Interesting angle on that question, that it would be her fault.
I don't think your financial advisor or your friend's financial advisor gives a flying fuck about saying, "Suck my dick, America." They work in finance. They have seen worse. Okay? They have seen worse things. They don't care. Was there money in the email? That's what they paid attention to. You don't have to do anything. If your friend is like so embarrassed that they feel weird, then you got to call your friend every day and say, "Suck my dick, America," and then hang up the phone. You got to call your friend and say, "Hey, I got something really important to tell you. Are you alone right now?" And they're like, "No." You say, "All right, put me on speakerphone. It's really important." And then when they get on speakerphone, you scream, "Suck my dick, America," and you hang up the phone. You can play with this forever. At no point do you apologize. At no point do you do anything. Maybe if he's like, "Hey, would you just call the financial advisor?" Then you call the financial advisor. You say, "Suck my dick, America," and you hang up the phone and you say, "I called them," and it's fine. They do not care. "Suck my dick, America" is an okay thing to put in an email. It's the only correct thing to put in an email. Otherwise, you're corny. Am I speaking? Is there any cap?
No.
There's no cap.
No cap. Never been a cap. I did have to, as I take it out of the pile of beautiful bracelets our listeners made for me, so many of them, and I was showing them to my children, and then suddenly I was like, "Oh, there's a Suck My Dick, America one. You got to take that out from the kids." But it's fine with the financial advisor.
Kids can't have those bracelets for a couple more years. Then they'll get the bracelets. Once they've read the book, they'll get the bracelets. Once they get the bracelets, then they can get the water. That's how serious Gregg's kids can't have the water for free.
Oh, no.
Gregg's kids haven't bathed in a long, long time because they haven't read the book. So they don't have the bracelets.
That was Chris, by the way. He's looking forward to seeing you in Philly. Finally, Allison asks, or mentions that she's been rereading Hunter S. Thompson's scathing eulogy for Nixon. You want to hear the part of the eulogy?
Sure.
If the right people had been in charge of Nixon's funeral, his casket would have been launched into one of those open sewage canals that empty into the ocean just south of Los Angeles. He was a swine of a man and a jabbering dupe of a president. It got me thinking, Anthony, if you could write anyone's obituary, who would you choose? She suggested Woody Allen. She also asked me if I'd want you to write my obituary. And after he wrote the speech at my wedding, I'm going to say no.
Listen, I'm bad at this. A friend of mine passed away a couple weeks ago. I was asked to give a sentence for the obituary, and it was not used. They were like, it's okay to joke around if you want to. I did, and it was not used. Do not ask me to write your obituary. And now I feel like with social media, the world writes your obituary. If you die and you were not liked, rest in piss will start trending almost immediately. And that, to me, is the best kind of obituary. I really enjoy those. A Henry Kissinger, a Queen Elizabeth. Those are I really enjoy when people who are polarizing die and someone is mad. I don't know whose eulogy I would like really, let me get a hold of that. Let me get in there. There's a bunch of people that I think are like total pieces of shit.
Maybe you'd be a nice one.
I
think surprise people and pick someone you admire, a comedian or something.
I would certainly do that. There are certainly comedians that I think are underappreciated who, when they pass and it's appropriate to write a fawning remembrance, I would do that then. But someone who, like an enemy that I would relish the way that Hunter S. Thompson enjoyed writing Richard Nixon's, then yeah, I don't know. It would have been like Nancy Reagan. Would have been fun.
Yeah. Mine would be Nancy Kerrigan.
Still. You never let it go.
I mean, we're about the same age, so it's dicey if, she goes before me, but yeah.
Well, you know what they say about Gregg? He Tanya. And that was Email Corner. Shine on, emails. You're a thing. Let me tell you something. If you're listening to the podcast and you're walking down the street, you're not paying attention, and you trip and you fall in some water, you owe us some money. That's JRVP water. If it's not in a bottle, it's ours, and you owe us some money.
Give us the money.
I'm going to want that money.
We're at headlines, and this is usually where we have ad copy, and I'm just feeling all crazy.
We already did the ads.
But I like
We
it.
got the money out of the way early so we could get to the point where we ask everyone to chip in. If I like got in an accident, if a truck came through the studio right now and took me out, and we started to GoFundMe, would you not give to that? I hope you would.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I need that money. Okay, the truck didn't come through. Because of the money you gave me, the money stopped the truck. Now I'm okay, but I'm only okay because you gave me the money. Guys, I'm going to need the money.
Right. Like, why waste the money on a guy who just got hit by a truck and can't even use it? Use it now, before we get hit by the truck.
Give the money before we get hit by the truck so we don't get hit by the truck. It's like when your grandparents are dying and they're like, we want to see you enjoy the money. See me enjoy the money. And the only way I can enjoy the money is by you giving it to me. I'm going to need it.
Okay. First headline is great. It's from Russia. If you thought Carrie, the Stephen King character, had it bad, wait until you hear about this 10-year-old girl in Russia whose birthday party turned into a nightmare when a hired entertainer poured liquid nitrogen on her, leaving her with horrific burns. She screamed in agony as her arms and legs were covered in second-degree burns in a stunt gone wrong.
Okay, listen, Gregg picked the headlines this week. I like about Gregg. When I picked them, Gregg's like, ooh, hard ones this week. And then Gregg picks them. He's like, these are fun. This is a 10-year-old girl who got chemically burned. What was he trying to do?
We do have a picture if you're on the YouTube.
If you're on the page, okay.
It's kind of blurred out. The face of the girl is blurred out on the picture of it happening as it was happening. If you get on the Patreon, you do not see that blur. You can see the girl's face.
You can see her face, and it's like a GIF where you can see it like burn her on a loop.
Wait, do you think these stories were kind of hardcore this week?
She's
but
holding.
I'm
She's
trying
the
to
girl's
pick ones I
holding her
think
leg,
that you'll like.
and
set 'em
she's
up.
got a bucket of liquid nitrogen that she's
Yeah.
going to pour on her. And what is she trying to do?
I guess she's done it in the past, and it's some sort of trick. And some people have done this that normally it could just kind of bounce off you, and it's no big deal, even though it's negative 196 degrees Celsius.
Now I've heard of this of like chemistry teachers doing
Yes,
this, where
exactly.
you wouldn't put your hand in the liquid nitrogen, but if you pour it over your hand,
Yes.
it's fine.
So that's what she was trying to do, but I guess it doesn't work like for everyone, or she fucked it up in some way. I don't really understand the science of it. It's in Russia.
Listen, it's the 10-year-old girl's fault. if there's anything, I want to know what kind of fucked up birthday party she was having. And they were like, "Hey, instead of a clown, let's have a hot chick come in here and pour liquid nitrogen on us and see which one of us gets burned."
The magician, if you check out the picture, definitely better looking than you think. My favorite part of the story is that the girl's mother is very upset. She paid almost 400, whatever the dollars, rubles, I don't know, for the entertainer, and said she was offered, after this all happened, a discount equivalent to $60. She was like, "I'll give you 60 off."
Hey, I mean, did you get your money's worth up until the chemical burn? And I'll tell you this, if you take that $60,
Yeah.
you get someone to lend you $10. That's JRVP water, and then you're not getting burned. You can pour JRVP water all over 99% of children, and most of them are coming out burn free. That's a guarantee.
That's the JRV promise.
I like that.
Okay, so this next story, I was curious. I found out before the show you were aware of this one.
Oh, very
It's been
aware.
going on for a couple weeks. I thought I'd like to hear your opinion on it. It's about these Chiefs fans. The three of them, they went over to their friend's house. This is weeks back now to go watch a game. And the three friends who went over to the house, they weren't seen for days after that. Their families reported them missing, and then their bodies were then found in the backyard of the house they went over to. Normal stuff there. The weird part, their friend who had them over says he doesn't know how they died, doesn't know how or why they left his house, and most importantly, does not know what they're doing in his backyard.
Yeah.
Dun,
Listen,
dun, dun.
and the families are mad. The families are like, "This is too weird. We were texting him for days, never heard back." Then the cops come, knock on his door. He comes out, and they're like, he's holding a wine glass, like shorts and a wine glass outside. I'm like, that's fine. This dude's on a bender. All right.
Yes.
Kansas City is outperforming their expectations, and he's ripping it up. I don't know what his job is, but he's got some time off, and he's having a go of it. Had some friends over, and I like how the cops were immediately like, "No foul play. We don't. No one.
That's
no one
a little
killed,
suspicious
No one
to
killed
me.
these people. These people obviously got fucked up and fell asleep outside and died." The friend who was there with them that night watched the game with them and then left around midnight. Said they were all sitting around watching Jeopardy. These guys were so fucked up. I think they got super fucked up. They went outside to have a cigarette, do something. Did a little more on the way out, and it was fentanyl, whatever. And they fell asleep and did not wake up. But I totally
it's three
believe.
of them. And you're right. There's been an update since just over the last 48 hours. They did find fentanyl and cocaine.
But this guy had friends over, got them all fucked up. Everyone's doing drugs, and then he's like, "All right, they took off. I'm gonna go sleep for 2 days, and when I wake up, it's gonna be with a wine glass in my hand." Now, I'm not defending this dude, but I think you do drugs with your friends, like these things can happen. I feel bad for the guy, to be honest. Survivor's guilt. You're doing drugs with your friends. They died. You lived. That's tough.
I mean,
but I see how this could happen.
I feel like I might feel bad for him, but not if he killed all of his friends, which feels like it's a possibility. We do have a picture of him. He said that, actually we have the picture of the friends. They're just, they look like Chiefs fans. They look like every single Chiefs fan I've ever met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are, listen, rest in peace, guys. Sorry you went too hard watching the game.
I just was reminded of the contest that we asked our listeners to send in
Drawings
what they
of Aaron?
think Aaron's going to look like. It was supposed to be part of the show. We're going to feature it next week. But one hint I would give is he looks like a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
He looks like a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, it's not bad looking dudes. Didn't deserve what they got, but I do believe the friend is like just helped them do drugs, and then didn't go outside.
Okay, so one, he says he sleeps with his earbuds in. That's why I didn't hear anyone knocking, because like the fiancés or wives and family were like coming by looking for him.
Yeah,
and he slept through it. Says he sleeps with his earbuds in. That was the moment where I'm like,
I do that.
I get it, but it's just like,
he's the guy that his friends only hang out with because he's got drugs.
One of them was literally on the porch. How do you not notice your dead friend on the porch? I mean, it sort of goes in his favor that like he didn't even try to hide the friend.
Yeah, you're not going in the backyard. Like, I buy it. It's unfortunate. It's terrible, but I totally believe it. And I feel bad for the families because they're like, there's something we're not getting here. And it's like, you're never going to get what happened there. It's terrible, but I don't believe the guy deserves anything more than what he's gotten, which is like, he had to move out. He's like, he's clearing out of town, which you got to go. But
I didn't know that. Yeah, the police are saying, it's a death investigation. It is not, they're not suspicious of him, they're saying right now, which is they're just going hard at that.
Yeah, that means like, they saw something when they went back there that was like, it's clear these guys were just getting fucked up. And you know what? It's early in the playoffs. You got Jeopardy coming up at midnight. You want to go hard.
You know what would have helped them if they had stayed hydrated?
JVP water. You know what I've heard, and I can't say this, but I've heard that if you get JVP water, if you pay your $70, you get a friend to pay $70, and you get 2 things of it, and you pour it on a casket. I'm not saying it brings them back to life, but I'm not saying it doesn't. JRVP bottled water, anyone can turn it into wine, not just Jesus. That's one of the other benefits that I forgot to mention.
It's like, why does Jesus get to have all the fun? Ooh, you're so special. How does that make the rest of us feel? Now you can feel great. You can do it too.
Aaron, would you die for our sins?
I feel like I have.
When?
Last Easter?
Last Easter.
Okay.
Like a couple days before, like on Easter. Like it just happened to be.
A couple days before, then I rose.
You rose. Good for you, man.
That water.
Yeah.
All right, we got another decapitation story. I'm beginning to think, I was like, why do we have so many decapitation stories? And I was like, I'm the one that picks the story, so might be a me problem. But just felt like something we could dig our teeth into here. A man who police allege killed and decapitated his father posted a YouTube video showing off the head in the video while calling for violence and railing against Joe Biden and a, quote, communist takeover of America and, quote, a far left woke mob. So he's one of the less annoying people that have used the word woke recently.
I'm excited to dig my teeth into this. Aaron, dig our teeth into whatever is going to be the title. Look, when people rant about politics, here's the thing about the president. No matter who the president is, you're not supposed to like them. They're the president. They're the boss. You can complain about the president. You blame the president for all the shit that's going wrong. That's normal. Okay? But when you start ranting about the president, I always expect you to be seconds away from lifting up your dad's head. Like whenever you start ranting about like Biden this and Biden that, no, I'm expecting the dad's head to get lifted into frame any moment. This is what you're mad about. You are weird and you need to look inside yourself and fix something. Because you can't be that mad about who the president is. There's something else you're mad about. And your dad had to pay the price.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Your dad had to pay the price for clicks. Because I got to think this video blew up. Did it go viral?
Yeah, I think it did well. YouTube did take it down pretty quickly. It violated some sort of policy.
They're anti-free speech.
Yeah. It was called Moan's Militia, Call to Arms for American Patriots. When it was there last Tuesday afternoon. halfway through it, and we do have a picture of the guy, not with the head, but normal looking guy, 32 years old. He just picks up a severed head. I did find the still of the severed head, unfortunately, and I didn't want to include that, but it was wrapped in plastic. You can check that out on the picture.
This guy, this is like what like a girl, the POV of like a 22-year-old girl at a bar. Who just happened to be alone for a second while our friend went to the bathroom. This guy comes up and starts talking about how the election was stolen.
It was scary. He said, "This is the head of Mike Mohn." His last name was Mohn, M-A-M-O-H-N. A federal employee of over 20 years, and my father. And then he went on to say, I think he took it out on because he's a federal employee. He went on to say, America is rotting from the inside as far-left woke mobs ravage our once prosperous country.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Once you cut your dad's head off, you lose the ability to criticize others. Don't tell me I'm woke when you've cut your own dad's head off.
It's extremely woke to cut your dad's head off.
It's so woke. It's the most woke thing you can do. Aaron, have you ever do something like that?
No.
You ever cut your dad's head off? You're not political?
No, definitely not that like that.
He's surprisingly married. This guy, I think he has kids. And yeah, the police showed up at his house. His wife called, and when they got there, they found the headless body in the downstairs bathroom with a machete and a large knife in the bathtub. And Mike would want you to know he's very against affirmative action.
That's the last thing you threw in there. I just feel bad for the dad who got his head cut off. I feel like just when people keep going on and on about politics, it's so annoying that seeing him swing the machete, like your final moments being like, this is how I'm going out over this shit, over this like too much Fox News and Adderall bullshit. I'm going to lose my head. When you hear my name for the next 30 years, you're going to think about it, my son cutting off my head because gas prices went up.
Last headline.
I got to stop with the decapitation stories.
I love them. It's my weakness.
They're kind of like a roller coaster. They're like after him, I'm just like, oh, that was a lot, but it was exciting.
They're never as fun as you think they're going to be. It's like a safety in the NFL. It's like you want to celebrate, but it's only 2 points.
Yeah, but
you do get the ball back.
Safeties are exciting. I mean, I'll never forget being in the stadium when they hiked the ball over Peyton Manning's head in that Super Bowl against the Seahawks. It was right at the beginning for safety. I was like, oh, these guys, they're fucked. And they were. They lost 43-8. Eat it, Broncos fans. You're right. I don't really like your team. Great story.
What's our last headline?
Clarice Schillinger, one-time Republican candidate for lieutenant governor somewhere in Pennsylvania, threw a birthday party for her 17-year-old daughter last year. And now Clarice is being held on charges after reportedly punching one of her daughter's friends in the face, a guy who was 6'8", while also sitting on one of their laps and repeatedly doing vodka shots with them.
I'm cool with this across the board. When you get in the Republican Party, you got to keep winning. You got to win your elections. If you lose your election, the rest of your life is pure hell.
Yeah.
Once you lose and you're off the train, you're going to be fighting someone on a pay-per-view. You're going to be doing some things you're not super proud of. And your daughter's 17th birthday party is going to be a clown show. She punched the mom who put this party together for 17-year-old girls, I would think is already furious.
And guys.
It is like, yeah, but it's for the girls. Guys are there because the girls want them there. It's a 17-year-old girls party. This reminds me of like the episode of The Bear.
I haven't seen it.
With, you seen The Bear, Aaron?
Yeah.
Where the one with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where she's cooking dinner all night, but she's getting drunker. She's getting, things are getting a little more volatile. Mm-hmm. She's going to explode. That's what happened here.
And she does.
She's dealing with 17-year-olds. A 6'8" guy gets in her face. A guy coming in, acting all Jacob Elordi. I'm not putting up with that. Not when I lost an election some time ago. I'm swinging. So I'm cool with laying out one person at a 17-year-old girl's birthday party is restraint. Doing vodka shots with everybody, that's being a cool mom.
Yeah.
I'm on a team. So she's being charged for punching someone or doing shots with kids?
Punching, the assault. Multiple people are getting charged. Just sort of buried in the article that her mom, the teen's grandma, also punched someone. That's amazing.
17-year-old girls' birthday parties are a recipe for disaster.
There was beer pong. All the kids who testified in court said it was common knowledge you could drink at the house. She actually was recorded in a text message telling them you can bring alcohol. So she's trying to be like the cool mom. She's only 36 when she punched her out, and her daughter's 16, so she was a young mom. He says he took about 15 shots at the party. That's a lot. And remember the night until he fell asleep in the bathroom. And then at one point he went upstairs to find his girlfriend, who was throwing up, as you do. And as he waited for her outside, he said he saw the mom and her boyfriend getting into an argument, and the boyfriend punched the wall because he was so upset. And then at that point, he said, "Do you want to like?" He said the boyfriend was told to leave, and then the boyfriend grabbed his neck and slammed him into a wall. So he's getting charged too. It's a whole thing. It's all happening.
That's what happens when you party with 17-year-olds, and you let them live. You know what would solve all their problems? Switching out the vodka shots with water shots. Mm-hmm. They're not listening. They're not subscribed. And now it's time for
Choo-choo.
Recommendation Station. Greg, what do you got this week?
I'm going to recommend a novella. It's called Eastbound by Melis de Carangal. It's French. It was originally written in 2012. It was just translated into English. Short book, awesome, about a Russian conscript who was just drafted to join their military and is on a train to Siberia to serve in the military, and he wants to escape. And a French woman's on the train. She gets involved. He wants to get off. The whole thing is basically on the train and him trying to escape this military service. Has, I guess, extra resonance with everything going on in Russia now, but it's really excellent. Like, it's really well written. No extra words at all. I can't believe it's only 130 pages because she packs a lot into it. It was part of the New York Times, I think, best books. That's where I thought to pick it up, and I really enjoyed it. Eastbound by Melis de Carangal. Nothing better than a good novella. You know?
I love a good novella. Pick it up. You read it in one sitting, and you're like, oh, I feel good. I can write that down on my list of books I've read this year, and I can just relax and go to the Patreon.
And don't you like things that are just on a train? I don't know. I do.
I do. It's fun. My recommendation this week is a new book, came out a week or two ago. It's called Come and Get It by Kylie Reid, R-E-I-D. It's a campus novel. It takes place at a school, follows kind of an RA. Kind of gets into like income equality at the university level, and kind of gets into how writers are the worst people in the world. I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the characters, and I'm like Greg. I love a good campus novel. This is a fantastic one. Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. Aaron, you want to recommend something? You see any?
I watched that documentary, We Are the World.
Oh, I watched that.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
I thought it was fun. There's some behind the scenes gossipy sort of stuff.
I wanted more drama. I wanted to see Michael Jackson take a swing at Huey Lewis. You know, I wanted to hear more. I liked the gossipy. You know, here's Bob Dylan standing there like, what the fuck am I doing here? Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, like Waylon Jennings piecing out. Yeah, but I could use more. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah. And that was Recommendation Station. Debbie, get me out of here.
Whoa, Nelly Furtado. That's a spicy meatball. Is that okay, Gregg?